All right, big start to today's video. We got this sucker packed in there. Look at this. This is exciting. This is very exciting. Stop sweating. So, we got the engine. It was a little bit of a hassle to get it out of the back of my Prado, but we got it done. It is on the engine hoist, and in this box is the thing that is gonna help me not only mount it to my engine stand, but get that sucker mounted on my transmission. So transmissionadapters.com has actually been so kind as to partner with me in my OM606 Ford F-150 swap. Now, if you're just joining us, this is my 1995 F-150, and about a year ago, I blew the stock 5.0 Ford motor on a road trip back from North Carolina. It had some pretty severe rod knock. It was a remanufactured engine. I made a mistake in fuel soaking the bearings. I actually just got rid of the engine. A gentleman just pulled up and pulled away with it in a truck bed. So now we have this Mercedes diesel to throw into my truck. Now, the biggest issue that I had planning this swap out was finding out where I was either gonna get a transmission adapter manufactured, so I would have had to come out, take all my dimensions, buy an engine first, take dimensions there, and then send off to potentially spend thousands of dollars getting that CNC machined out and kind of working through some bugs. But to my own surprise, and honestly, the big savior of this swap has been transmissionadapters.com, who have kindly decided to partner with me. I did not get paid beforehand. I actually paid full price for this, and after I received the adapter, I reached out to them, asked if they would be willing to partner, and they said yes. So through this swap, they're actually giving me a discount code to hand out to everybody that is watching along and is following along on the swap. Whether you're finding the blog later on down the line or watching the YouTube videos, you can actually use the code HANK10 on transmissionadapters.com to get 10% off any order on transmissionadapters.com, not just this OM606 to Ford AOD adapter. Now, a little bit of insight. This is an adapter plate for the OM606 that will bolt directly to the Ford AOD small block Ford bolt pattern. Now, this would include the 4R70W, this would include the predecessor Ford AOD, and I believe it will also mount to a Ford E4OD. Now, when it comes to transmission controllers and things like that, Transmission Adapters also has an option to add on a, it's a Quick 4 shift controller. I bought one along with it. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet, because I'm going to try and find out if I'm able to retain my stock PCM. Now, if you are struggling to find a way to get your throttle position sensor mounted in or an RPM signal, I'm going to try and solve all of these issues beforehand, so you will have the choice whether or not you want to add a quick shift 4 into your build. Now, personally, I'm still probably going to add the Quick 4, but I want to determine whether or not you're able to retain your stock PCM, so you don't have to deal with spending extra money and wiring up new wires that might be foreign to you. So my goal is to keep this as simple as possible, and one of those things that's helping me keep it simple is the transmission adapter. So let's go ahead and get this adapter mounted up to the engine, and then get the engine on the engine stand so we can go a little bit deeper into what else we have to do in this swap coming up. Now that was far harder than I thought it would be to get the old torque converter off. Sucker was seized in there a little bit, but we're all good now. If anybody wants a Mercedes torque converter, let me know. All right, so I'm not gonna completely torque all these down right now. Just gonna get it mounted up, snugged on to where we can put it on the engine stand and go from there. But should just mount up just like this. Now there are these little, where'd you go? These little 5/16 Allen bolts that are gonna mount it to the transmission itself. In the next episode, we're gonna have my buddy Chris here to help us weld up the engine mounts and that crack in the engine cradle. But we're gonna hopefully toss this thing into the engine bay and see exactly where our engine mounts are gonna be. Now, I mentioned before about the transmission controller, the quick 4, and I still intend on using it, but first I want to see if we are able to retain our stock PCM before we cut into any wiring. And to do that, and to even put in the quick 4, we have to have a throttle position signal, and I've been working on CAD designing a mount to mount it to the injection pump. So I'll show a little bit more about that, but I ordered it today. I've been designing it and I ordered it today. So it'll come in a few weeks and we will actually see if this specific mount works. And if so, you'll be able to take your stock, where did it go? Am I blind? Am I blind? Guys, I'm blind. Oh, there it is. We'll be able to see, and you'll be able to use your stock throttle position sensor from your Ford 5.0. And I don't know if that also goes on the 5.8. I imagine it does, but it is the throttle position sensor that mounts the bottom of the throttle body on the stock 5.0 and 5.8. Might be the same for the 4.9. Which are very inexpensive and very cheap, but it would essentially bolt straight up to the side of the injection pump and send you a throttle position signal. So that way you don't have to tap in any wiring or jerry rig anything. You'll just be able to use this adapter by itself and go from there. Alright, so remaining on the docket today, I'm going to take off the intake manifold, check the condition of the oil that's remaining in this thing just to make sure there's no glitter. We don't want to run through any sort of rod bearing issues like we just encountered. I'm going to plop the injector cover off to make sure everything's clean, but really, glancing at this, it looks in fairly good condition. I'm genuinely surprised like how clean a lot of this stuff is. So I'm optimistic, to say the least. First, we're gonna inspect the engine, make sure oil looks good, pull the intake manifold off, pull the oil filter out, make sure there's nothing awry, double check, make sure the bolts that I need are there. If they're not, I'm just gonna go order them, no big deal. And then after that, let's go into the truck bed, take the things out that are sitting in there right now, pull the bolt-in liner out, and then start unbolting the bed itself to prepare to pull that off so we can start messing with the fuel system here soon. So that being said, let's start cranking. So, intake manifolds off. I took a light look down on all of the ports, and this motor looks like it sat for a little while. May or may not have had the intake manifold off while sitting, because there's just a few different like crumbs, junk, leaves, things like that in here. So I have jerry-rigged a little piece onto my mini shop vac, took a old piece of fuel line off this that I'm gonna replace anyways. I'm gonna stick it down in there and blow some air into it at the same time to try and clean it out. But let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. It's not major, and honestly, I'm just a little bit overkill with some of this stuff, but you might be able to see some of it, you might not. Can you see that? Maybe, maybe not. But most of it is just oil and soot, but you can see a little bit in this one. There's a tiny piece of grass or grime or something like that where this thing might have sat outside for a time. All right, intake ports look cleaned out. Now we're gonna take a look at the oil that this thing's got in it to make sure there's no glitter or foreign objects we do not want to see in there. Please be good. Please, please, please have nothing wrong with you. I do not think I can emotionally withstand another blown motor. Oh, we're good. Brother, we are so good. I mean, diesel oil is black, but I see no glitter. We're... Come on. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Clean-ish oil. Which even the filter itself looks pretty clean. I don't see anything between the fins. No foreign material. I mean, we're looking pretty solid. Solid. Today's a good day. Today is a very good day, guys. No glitter, just smooth oil. But nice. Okay, so now that we've somewhat glanced over the engine, let's tie this all up, clean this space up, and head to the bed to start pulling the bed liner out so we can get ready to pull that off. I'm really not looking forward to that. And if anybody wants some free gas from my tanks, I'm pretty sure both of them are full. But I'm gonna clean this up and see you in a sec. Here's something funny. Can you see it? It's on my hat too. I just splattered my face with diesel oil while putting the drain tub down. So we haven't had a dumb things item in a minute. So add this to the dumb things list, me splashing myself and literally getting polka dots on my face with diesel oil. So I'm gonna go wash this off, and then we can start tearing into the truck bed. this is my first time actually seeing the bare truck bed, and I gotta say, I absolutely love living in the South where there's no rust on anything. Just look, barely any surface rust on where it's rubbed up for, God knows, 30 years or more. But come on now. Now I will say there are two different ways that I've seen people access the fuel pumps on these trucks. One way is by obviously taking the truck bed off completely to get to the front tank and the rear tank. The other way is by literally just cutting holes in the bed to be able to access directly above the fuel pumps. I am wanting to pull the truck bed off to get easy access to everything, but if it looks like these bolts are gonna be pesky, I do not want to have to deal with cutting the bolts and finding new ones. I'll just end up cutting an access hole, because I do see some pros in doing that in case I do need to get back into it quickly, or I run into an issue later on down the line with these sending units. They'll be easy to get to and rewire and fix up if need be. No, I just wanted to get that out. I'm not going to be out here much longer, but I do want to check the state of these bolts to see how bad they are. I mean, you don't look the best, I'm not going to lie. Looks fine to me. I'm not going to unbolt it today. Just wanted to take a look. So, for now, what episode are we on? 4? 5? I don't know. We got the engine tore down, sort of. Looked at. It's a good engine from what I can tell. Truck bed liner is out. Bolts look okay. Once I start cranking on them, I'll know whether or not they're gonna budge. If they don't budge, I'm just gonna cut holes in the bed, patch those up and make a little access door for later. But next episode, I'm gonna hope to film this weekend, where we'll be welding the engine cradle, and then maybe even installing the injection pump and the turbo setup. So be sure to tune in next time, and remember, use my code HANK10 at transmissionadapters.com for 10% off any order. So I'll see you next time, and thanks for tuning in.